For WeTech Alliance, I'm Arms Boom and Leg. People have already found countless uses for ChatGPT, the AI chatbot that's gone viral for its ability to create passable text for just about any prompt. So the big question is, how is this going to shape the future of work? Which industries will it disrupt? And how it's going to help certain industries in Windsor and Essex County and the world? Here's my conversation with Dr. Philip Ola.
The best way to think about this in layman's terms is ChatGPT or GPT technology. It stands for Generative Pre-trained, and it's basically an AI model that has been trained on vast amounts of data. So what this allows the model to do is to understand the data in what we call natural language processing methodology. So it basically understands everything it's read. And what we can do is we can then interact with our AI model and ask it questions and get the data back in a understandable English or any language format. So it basically allows you to access like the volumes of data that's all over the world on the internet, in the archives, and be able to ask the AI model a question and get that data back in a format that makes sense to you.
What are some of the most impressive applications of ChatGPT that you've seen so far in your experience? And how is this really sort of disrupting so many different, I would think, areas, Doctor?
Yeah, so the beauty of Chat GPT and GPT technology is that it really is a case of, what are you trying to access from that data? So some of the really cool things I've seen span all domains. So for example, I've seen some prompting of the AI model where you can ask it to write some computer code. And you can then take that computer code, you can run it in the environment, and it will actually run and generate the data that you need. I've seen some amazing data analytics codes that has been created by ChatGPT. I've seen some scripts where you ask it to write you a creative writing script, and it will create you an amazing long story. I've seen some text to video where it would actually create the GPT-4 technology actually creates videos and images as well. So I've seen some amazing videos created by just writing in a text prompt and getting a video back. So literally almost anything that you can think of, any task that we would want to do as a human in all the domains, there is literally somebody writing a prompt for that can then run into the AI, and then it can bring that data back. So I'll give you a couple of very specific examples. So in the healthcare field, I've seen where you can point the Chat GPT to a specific data set. So this is where it gets interesting, where the problem we have is the technology that runs on the internet, the Chat GPT. If it doesn't know something, it will make it up, right? So it's great for creative writing, but if you're a scientist or a medical doctor and you want to use it, then you might be a little bit wary because it might make something up. But if you can point the technology to a domain of knowledge that is very accurate, it's credible and it's accurate, and you can say to ChatGPT, using all the words and all the knowledge look at this data set and tell me, why are these people here getting sick, right? And it can go through that and it can give you insight on, these people are getting sick because of this, and the treatment plan is this, and the best way to diagnose it is that. Right? We don't quite know what it's reading and what it's doing, but we know that it has the mind, which is way more advanced than ours, that it can see the insights in that data. So we will see a lot of scientific and medical innovations coming out of being able to link our credible data sources to the language, the natural language processing of ChatGPT. That is really where we're going to see a lot of advances in the science and the medical domain. One industry that is going to be disrupted the most is education, because what you're seeing now is all over the world, a lot of institutions are banning ChatGPT. So it's being banned in the schools, it's being banned in universities. Universities coming up with policies as to why you can't use it and why you can't access it. And the reason for that is you can literally take your assignment, plug into ChatGPT, and it will write something that is pretty credible, right? So one of the biggest disrupted spaces will be education, and it doesn't mean, I think, banning it might be a bit of an overreaction because it's happening so fast. But the reality is, over time, what we will have to do is we have to figure out how do we incorporate this disruptive technology into the education system, into the healthcare system, into the business system, because business is a low-hanging fruit for this kind of technology. It's where, it's where we're really going to start seeing the initial push, because it really increases the productivity of somebody using it. So my answer to that is it's really going to disrupt every space there is, especially education, healthcare, research, and the industry, manufacturing industry as well.
I was going to say, Doctor, too, as a marketer, somebody who markets, as soon as ChatGPT came out, and I've been playing with it, I've been messing around with it, it has made my work a lot more efficient
Yes.
in terms
Yeah.
of, writing copy script,
Yes.
even doing, emails where I'm like, I have to write an email to a particular person or a subsect of people I'm trying to reach.
Yes.
Some of the content that you can put in this is just absolutely incredible.
Yes, it is. It is. It is. And just to kind of follow up on that, so the tool that we've been building is really it's a pre-chat GPT. So it's what we call a prompt builder. And you figured out how to use chat GPT for your marketing and for your industry. And you will know that there are certain words that you use and there are certain phrases that you would use to be able to get the right response back. Now, that is not easy for a lot of people. A lot of people really struggle and they don't get the right things back from ChatGPT. They try it over and over and over again. So one of the things that we have built is a tool that builds your prompts for you based on what you're trying to do. So it works very well in the business. So using your copy, doing your adverts, doing your ads, doing your titles, doing your search engine, right, doing the email. So that's really, really low hanging fruit. But then moving from there, when we're looking at the coding, the data modeling, the creating ways to search literature and scientific data, that becomes a lot harder, right? So the tool we're kind of pulling together helps us, well, will help the user to craft the prompt that they need to be able to pull the right data back from the AI. And that really is where the future is. It's knowing how to interact with that technology to get the right data back.
So, in what ways do you think that ChatGPT and GPT-3 will continue to evolve and, say, improve the future, let's say 5, 10, 15 years down the road? And what kind of breakthroughs do you think we're going to be seeing generally on this?
Yeah, that's a good question. Now, I think the idea of 5, 10 years down the road, that kind of analogy is gone. This technology is moving so fast that I would say the 5, 10 years is 5, 10 months, right? Because
Wow.
the progress is just phenomenal, and it's only going to speed up. The more people that jump on board, the more people that start paying, so that the cost of running the technology goes down, it's going to get faster. So to answer the question, over the next year or next year, 2 years, what we're really going to see is we're going to see the what I call, and the two things. One is embedding. So where we are able to interface with the AI into our applications. So you're not necessarily having two separate things, but the GPT-4, GPT-5, the LLMs, large language models, can actually come into your data set. So you're interacting with, say, you're programming or you're creating a video game. Instead of writing all that code, you're saying, I want to create an environment which looks like a space environment, and there are these objects that. So you literally are, instead of all that language and coding and modules, you're spending a couple of hours describing it, and then it creates it. So you're looking at basically bringing the technology into the different domains, and it will be the same for manufacturing. It's going to be the same for medicine. So that's the first thing. And then the second thing is being able to create applications on top of the AI that create new markets, new industries, allows you to do new things very, very quickly. In the what we call the Industry 4.0, the physical cybersecurity like systems that we have in manufacturing, we are now going to be coming up with what we call an augmented approach. So the the computers that we have in manufacturing and industry, they're not necessarily going to be working autonomous. We now have a way to be able to link in with our prompting to control them better. So in future, what we are really seeing is we're seeing this separate AI that companies own, and we're going to be integrating and incorporating that into whatever we're doing. So it's going to create two types of kind of work industries. So you're going to have those that work with AI, and the systems that work using this kind of technology, and those that don't. And the reality is, those that don't are going to be at a significant disadvantage than the ones that are integrating this technology into their infrastructure, into their enterprises, and into their workflow. So the future is not 5-10 years with it. The future is 1-2 years. And then after that, we're going to be in a completely different state than what we are now.
So finally, Doctor, what advice would you give somebody who's interested in learning more about ChatGPT and GPT-3, or even working in the field of natural language processing?
Yeah, so my advice is very simple: learn to prompt. It's simple as that. Learn to write and create prompts. Understand how to get the best back from the AI. The AI is as smart or as stupid as your prompts. So you see a lot of people who I try to use it and they didn't give me the right thing back. No, you used the wrong prompts, right? Or you did not give the AI the right the right persona, right? You can say to the AI, "You are Albert Einstein. You're trying to work on this problem. Do this." Or you can say, "You're a comedian and you're working on this problem and do this." The outputs are going to be completely different, right? So anyone who has any interest whatsoever in being competitive in the future, you need to learn how to write an effective prompt. So that is my only advice, right? Don't start digging into how to create the most optimum AI algorithm, or trying to come up with an AI platform that's better than ChatGPT. No, that's useless. Like, so that ship has sailed, right? What you need to do is you need to figure out how to integrate with this technology, and the best way to do that is by natural language. So learn to prompt. That's my advice.
Tech Talk continues. From business acceleration, building and engaging the tech community, and championing tech and innovation. Follow WeTech Alliance on social media or visit them on the web.